What's happening, people? Population Nation here, and may the 4th be with you. And I thought we'd start by the latest trailer for the Acolyte, which just happens to be coming out 1 month from today, on the 4th of June. So quickly play the trailer. And we'll get into a bit of
a Jedi was murdered.
Star Wars news.
The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace. But that peace is a lie.
Jedi are being hunted.
She was my student. I trained her. Let me be the one to bring her in.
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan. Some sort of shift to tip the scales.
There's always a larger black. Bob.
It's time to face the past. Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. If you want to pull the thread and change everything, then pull it.
What are you?
So, trailer, learn a little bit more of what's going on, and it's not that much of an improvement over the previous trailer. Now, I've been thinking about the Star Wars question for quite a while now, how it's been in decline and that, and I think the people who grew up and saw the original trilogy at the cinema and, you know, went batshit crazy over the toys, if you can, if you remember or know about it, they didn't actually have the figures ready. They actually sold, like, you paid and you had like a cardboard cutout of the figures, and then as they became available, you could trade them in for the actual toy sort of thing. Thought George was a bit mad at the time for that marketing plan, but yeah, the amount of people that brought the cardboard cutouts, well, actually delayed things even more because they sold that many of them. They got delayed because the demand was so unexpectedly high. Now, the problem with Star Wars today is, like I say, the people who originally saw it at the cinemas were young adults or adults that took the children. I stated on a previous video, my dad wasn't one for taking us to cinema. He considered it a bit of a waste of money when, you know, we could hire it out on VHS in 3 years' time, or watch it on TV for free at Christmas in 8 years' time or something like that. He wasn't one for taking us out as a family for watch stuff at cinema. He wasn't a big, well, he wasn't into movies generally, full stop, really. But the ones that did and enjoyed it, and like for me, my generation, um, we got the special editions, which, to be honest, I preferred the non-special editions. But when the prequels were announced and stuff, there was big excitement for us that were just too young to take ourselves to the theatres to watch it, or our parents didn't take us, but we grew up on like as older brothers or other people we knew that watched it and seen the toys and the adverts, and like I say, later on VHS or Betamax, and then it would be sort of the run up to Christmas. You'd get like the TV guide and you'd see Star Wars, and really brilliant. Um, it's hard. Well, the advancement in special effects and stuff, it was a giant leap forward, and I think George Lucas was very lucky that he got the funding for it. He was able to create set up these companies like Industrial Light and Magic. The John Williams score was, I think, not just one of the best soundtracks to a movie or trilogy, but I actually like classical music, and I find it really good classical music in its own right. I know it's based, or a lot of people say it's based on a previous work of music, I believe, called The Planets. But anyway, that aside, he also had, like, back then, the people, the artists that shared his vision and the creativity and the excitement of this project, the scope and scale of it as well. It was a big thing, and I know he pulled lots of ideas from history and mythology and all sorts and the philosophical stuff surrounding it as well that went into it that perhaps you didn't appreciate so much as when you were younger, but it's all there, and it was new and it was exciting. And then the prequels come round. Obviously, CGI had become good enough that George, again, was able to, and also wanted to pioneer this push in the boundaries of the possibilities of the media and the film industry as well. A lot of people were sort of disappointed in the prequels, but still a lot of people really enjoyed them, and it brought in a whole new audience. Parents that had watched the originals and introduced their children to, their children grew up loving it, wanted to see the prequels and took their children, and a whole new generation sort of thing. And then we sold to Disney. Now, I've stated this before as well. J.J. Abrams was directing it, and I just saw one statement that said that basically it was going to be a sort of remake of A New Hope for the people that had missed out on the previous ones to like a reimagining, but also as a way of bringing in the new characters and the people who were too young or had missed out on seeing the originals, like in the Business with the Death Star, and I hate reboots and remakes. Total Recall and RoboCop are two of them, and when I read that statement, I just thought, oh, this is going to be horrendous. And I watched it once, and the fact that they didn't put Leia, Han, Luke, Chewie, C-3PO, and R2-D2. People say, you know, just the fact that they didn't put Han, Luke, and Leia together in a scene, you know, it was a travesty sort of thing. But yeah, not including Lando in that, it was bizarre, and they focused on these new characters that they didn't develop properly either. Then you got the ultimate sort of weird decision that Rian Johnson, as I call him, made the next one. What was it? The Last Jedi. Completely went away from J.J. Abrams' plan, because I was told, you know, the Force Awakens is going to be a sort of like remake of A New Hope, but also a way of introducing new characters, and then the next film, it should be number 8, it'd be where the story really starts for this part of the trilogy. It was completely, you know, split the fan base into, at this point, a lot of the older audiences started checking out, and the people that weren't too happy about the prequels were very skeptical, and the people who say their first experience was with the prequels, and all of them didn't seem to like the sequel trilogy either, and The Rise of Skywalker was just so badly edited and made, and the decisions, now we had to undo everything that Rian Johnson had undone from The Force Awakens, and utter mess, and all the controversy around Kathleen Kennedy, and then you got Rogue One, which was a good idea. I just found, again, the main characters in that were poorly written. I don't know why, like they did in John Wick. That what's his face? Thinking on his name, but the Karate Man. Blind guy that's sort of not force sensitive, but you know, why making blind? Just really odd decisions, and yeah, the story ended up not totally making sense, and it wasn't fun either particularly. I know a lot of people actually liked it. Solo was just an annoyance. And then obviously we got the live action stuff. Kenobi was just a laughing stock. Terrible writing, the ridiculous scenes and plot holes, and and the what's it to the canon. Ahsoka again, more damage, and now the Acolyte, and I think Star Wars, it's the older Leo, people from the original trilogy have just been that much put off and dislike this new direction, and they're not introducing their children to it. The people that did like the prequels, were hoping to get, well, still good Star Wars, but amongst the younger generation now, Star Wars isn't a cool brand. It's nothing. It's just not. They keep hearing all the negativity around it and the Force of Female stuff. We're sick of hearing about the diversity. I actually think if the Acolyte wasn't marketed, same with Ahsoka, as a Star Wars show based on Star Wars, if it was like a sort of, if they engineered it in a way that they were using the Star Wars brand, obviously it's set in the Star Wars universe with the sort of lore and the setup with the Force and stuff, but not emphasise so much on using the Star Wars brand. I think maybe younger people would watch it and maybe like it for what it is, rather than being, it's not bringing new fans in, and it's put a lot of the old fans off, and these shills that, how they go out of their way to really laugh and over-exaggerate on such nonsense things as he evaded, or red lightsaber, oh my god, it's a red lightsaber, and cameos, and I can't believe, which is something really simple that happens, and I'm thinking, they must be putting this on. There's no way they've not seen good stuff before that they can compare it to. Like, I think one of the best lightsaber battles is in Return of the Jedi. The last one between Vader and Luke. And I think the backdrop and that, the actual built that set, and it looked pretty cool, and you knew there was some sort of tension there, and there was a purpose to it and stuff, and it had a lot of weight and meaning to it. And then obviously Luke gets the better of Vader, but doesn't want to kill him and stuff, and that was quite a poignant moment. And then seeing the Emperor torturing Luke, and Vader decides, he's going to save his son, and just the whole thing, take my mask off, let me look at you with my own eyes for once, and Luke's, no, you'll die or whatever, I want to save you, and I already have, that was quite poignant. All this later stuff, no one really dies. There doesn't seem to be any purpose to it. There's people who've got not much investment in these characters built up. Like I say, they can still make these shows, or I think actually do them as animated first, and not, big up the Star Wars brand, sort of have it still under the banner of Star Wars, but just marketed different, so younger people might give it a try, and that. And then now I've heard it from two different sources, that because Disney owns both companies now, they want to do crossover with Marvel, which is another IP that's going down the drain, and putting these two together, and how they would accomplish that, I do not know. I really don't. It'd just be more damaging, more signs of obvious desperation, just more off-putting. Now it is made the 4th day, and I suggest that it's a tradition with quite a lot of people, but if we can just remember the original trilogy, what it stood for, and the interesting characters, and the fact, good against evil, redemption, the struggle for people to be better than they are, and all the rest of it. Star Wars brought a lot of joy to a lot of people for a long time, and it's a shame where it's got to. I think they're not listening to the fans. They're creating a whole new, this new modern audience. They're going about it the wrong way, I think, completely. But for a lot of people out there, we still have the original trilogy and the fun memories and the enjoyment of it, and that to me is what today is about, remembering that special time where watching A New Hope for the first time, it was mind-blowing, the emotion and the soundtrack, the sort of wackiness, this new world, the creativity and special effects and that we hadn't seen before. The impact on culture and entertainment culture was unbelievable, and I know now they use nostalgia as bait, but that is because we had something so great. And I'll just say for the last time, that was, I think, May the 4th be with you, as a time to remember the good old times and keep it precious and separate from this new stuff. Anyway, people, thanks for listening. Population Nation, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the rest of it, and may the force be with you always.